All right, hello and welcome back. In this video I want to talk about Arco open string sound production. This is really the foundational element of everything that we do, and I think a lot of students don't necessarily understand it. The first thing is just a few general rules, general principles with the bow. And it's a little confusing when you look at the angle of this bass right now, but essentially I'd like you to think about, in the early stages at least, thinking about being perpendicular to the string with the bow, and I'd like you to think about having what we would call flat hair. So meaning having the stick essentially over the hair, not so much turned up to one side. So those two factors are kind of like our starting point, and then you have to find the sounding point. You have to find the place at which it sounds good. Pick something where you're moving the bow relatively fast. You could think about it as a relatively fast quarter note. A relatively fast half note, or a relatively slow quarter note. But whatever you're doing, you want to use the whole bow and try to keep the sound up. At first, it's the bow change is one of the most important aspects of good string playing. So we go all the way to the tip, we go all the way to the frog. Maximum oscillation. I'll try to do some close-ups when I'm editing this video, but what I'm seeing here is the string spinning. It's a beautiful sight. The D string is always one of the easy ones to get going, and then you want to do it on other strings. The G string will give you the least action, but most times when students are playing, they're more like they're not digging into the string as much. Now move around to different strings. You can make various combinations. I'm even going to put up on box soon just a series of open string combinations that you can use as reference. But basically, you can improvise combinations of those four strings. Now you have to start to get into the idea about changing the bow speed and maintaining the same sound. So with Arco playing, there are three ingredients involved in making a sound: location, speed, and force, pressure, weight, whatever terms. I like weight. So what this essentially means is that if I've determined like what I was just playing, if we thought of that as a half note, and we suddenly wanted to play whole notes, let's take a look at that situation. So speed is cut in half. So essentially, so that's what I've always had in my basic warm-up as a pure technical exercise. You've cut speed in half, therefore location has to change. It has to get a lot closer to the bridge, and downward pressure, weight has to change accordingly, and that's how you get some semblance of an equal sound. So that's a very good thing to do. The belay etudes do this. The first belay etude in C major does the same thing, really. It does it with quarter notes and half notes. So if you recall, it's right there you have it. So I would suggest playing those quarter notes with a lot of bow. Don't play. You see, it's very dry that way. Instead, you gotta. So everything is a whole bow in there. So the speed is changing all the time. So when you begin working on music, the belay etudes are great for that. There's constant change going on. That bow is moving at different speeds. You've got to use your ear and your vision, your what you're hearing inside to make it sound musical and make it sound connected. At first, it's just a technical thing, but so this element, just in the same way we saw in the shifting, or we'll see in the shifting, I should say, we'll see in the shifting that we have to change that sounding point to be able to get the same sound. Here we have to be able to change that sounding point to get the same sound when we're changing the duration of the note. So that's it for open string sound production. Start every day with that. Use the rhythms I'm going to put up soon on Box, or use things that you find out of other books. So you get comfortable from going from string to string. A lot of times students will get lazy and they'll be comfortable on one string, but then when they go to another string, they don't move. You watch one more time. If I play a D string, now if I go to the G string, you see I change. You see each string has its own level, so that's very important too. Okay, that's it for now. We'll see you next time.